What's up, guys? We are doing a very quick one today. Just a simple oil change, 21 STI. A couple of things you guys are going to need. Drain pan, funnel, some 5W30. It takes about 4.5 quarts. This is what I use. There's a million different oils you could use. I'm not going to get into that. Oil filter. You're going to need a 12 mil. I put it on an extension to get the under tray off. Flathead to pop the clips on the under tray. Oil filter wrench. I think I got this one at AutoZone. I use a breaker bar to get the oil plug out, and it's either a 17, an 18, or a 19. I don't remember. I'm gonna say probably 17. And then you're gonna need a jack and jack stands. So that's about it. The whole thing usually only takes about, I'd say probably 25 minutes. But because I'm videotaping it, it'll probably take a little longer. But I want to show you guys. It's gonna be hard to see. I'm gonna jack it up right from the pinch weld and then put the jack under it. I jack it up from this side because the oil drain plug's on the other side. So it'll just help it drain a little bit faster. And I'll set you guys up. Probably not going to time lapse this one because it should be pretty quick. I hope. We shall see. So let's give you a closer look. Use the pinch weld, won't have any problems. And then we're gonna lay it right down on there. Nice and slow. And there you go. I usually loosen the jack and then I'll just get it real close just in case jack fails. You never know. I like to be have a little redundancy there, so hopefully you can see that pretty well. And let's get underneath. I'm gonna put some cardboard down. I don't want to make a mess, and I'll show you guys what's going on under there. Okay, so now that we got our cardboard down, I'll show you guys the plugs. There's one right there. Let me get the light so you can see it. So it's gonna be this guy right down there, and then my car has two more. Older STIs only have the one. But I got one there. It's hard to see. I'm blocking my own light. So one right there, and then one on the other side of this, which hopefully you could see right there. So I got three. So we're gonna pop those out real quick with the flathead. Just pop right out. There you go, one. Two, and three. We got three on the other side, so go get those guys out. This one's going to be a little bit harder now that I have the car jacked up. Get my hand in there. Not terrible, but it's a lot harder to do with one hand, I'll tell you that. Yeah. Okay, should be two more. There's one. And then the other guy. I'm trying to do light in here for you guys too, so Still need to get a nice light on top. And that will be number 3 on this side. Cool. So now that those are out, now we got a couple bolts. They're 12 mil, like I mentioned earlier. We're gonna grab our 12 mil. And let's see, we got one here, and then we got one right there. And we also got these 2 little clips. I'm gonna set you guys up. Sorry for the bad angle. But here we go. Should be able to see you got a clip here and a clip here, and you just pinch them off. That's what it looks like. You just pull on the bottom and push back. It's nothing special. Then you got one more over here. And there you go. There's 2. Now we can start taking these bolts out. Crack them all loose. I don't want it to fall on you, so I kind of hold it up with my hand. There's our 2. And then we're holding it up while we do this guy so it doesn't fall on us. And there you go. And now it should drop. It actually, there's like these little inserts that catch right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. But it'll prevent it from falling when we put it back in. So, it should slide right off for us. We got 2 more of these little plastic kind of retainers here. You just pull down on it and it'll come off. Once you got one side, you can just wiggle the other side right off. And there you go. That was, we're halfway there really. So I always like to check this. I throw it to the side. You could see I had a little bit of a coolant leak there. I cleaned it up last time, but you know, over time with the weather and stuff, what are you gonna do? But I know that's what that's from. But we're not leaking coolant anymore. So pop the hood. I'm not gonna take the cap off just yet. We are going to get our pan ready. So now we're gonna drain it. Like I said, the reason I jack it up from this side is because the oil plug is on this side. Try to set you guys up again. And I believe it's a 17. I always forget. Do change the oil every 3,500 miles, but I do my wife's car too. I always forget. So yeah, this one's a 17. There's your oil plug, drain plug. We don't have to be technical here. And I take it off with the breaker bar, but I don't put it on with one, so it should come right off. And there you go. Doesn't have to be killer tight. Now, this is the sciencey part. You want to get it close, and then right at the end, get your hand away. I roll my sleeve up. Hopefully don't make a mess. So I'm keeping pressure up on it. I could tell it's starting to come out. Do another half turn and let go. And there you go. Now it'll flow out for probably like 5 minutes. I'm not gonna make you guys watch that. This one, some of the older models have a crush washer. I think this one has the rubber one in it. Actually, is it dirty? I'll check. I have other crush washers, but You should always replace that. Now we'll take the cap off up top to let it keep draining. Should go a lot quicker. And yeah, should be good. Okay, so now that the oil is draining properly, I'll take this cap off, and then it should drain a little bit faster, even though it looks like it's almost done. And this is extremely difficult with one hand, and the intercooler pipe in the way, but there you go. Sometimes you'll have some residue in there, nothing to worry about, just wipe it clean, looks pretty good. And I do have, so I'm thinking of my wife's Jeep, there's a rubber gasket, or maybe it was the other car I had. This has the crush washer, so I apologize for that. So I'm gonna put that guy on there. Grab this guy. When it gets to a nice slow drip, we'll give it a couple more minutes, but once it's not really dripping or it's raindropping, that's when we'll put it in, and then we'll do the filter. Okay, so now the fun part. Okay, so this guy is barely dripping now, which you guys can see. So got the crush washer on there. We got it close. I like to wipe it down so I know that nothing's dripping. It gives it a nice clean surface too. So you'll know if it starts dripping or leaking or you didn't tighten it enough or anything like that. You'll know pretty quickly. So I got on there hand tight. I take it off with a breaker bar, but I do not put it on with a breaker bar. So we'll put that guy on. Give it like another half turn, 3/4 turn. I mean, that's pretty tight, so not even like a half turn. I'm not gonna kill it. That would be a horrible idea. Now, I have killer bee headers, so you could see there's like no room behind this oil filter. So getting the wrench in there is very difficult. But I do have a wrench that I like to use. And all we're gonna do is pop it loose. I know it's not the best angle for you guys, but I'm by myself. So I like to wheel it all the way clockwise. And then I put my thumb here, and then I just try to crack it loose. And I just keep working it until it comes loose. So, and there are better oil wrenches. This isn't like the best one, but it works. So you can see there, it's starting to come loose. Okay, so before we start losing oil, a nice little trick, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it because the header on this one, I don't really have a lot of room. We got our oil pan under there. You just take a cup and then you take it off like this, because it's gonna drip, but the cup will catch most of it before it overflows, and then we can let the rest drain. See, it's coming. There's a lot of things that. There you go. And the cup caught most of it. That will just wipe off, but it's nice because my hands are clean. I didn't get any on my hands at all, which is a beautiful thing. So, solo cup. You could use it for more than just beer pong. Check it out. So we'll give that a minute, let it drip out of there, and then we'll put the new filter on. Okay, so while that's draining, I'll show you guys what I do with the new filter. I got this because it was on sale. I think for the 5 quarts of oil and the filter, it was like 38 bucks. Yeah. It's not a full-blown race car, so it shouldn't make too much of a difference. 5 quarts Mobil 1, I used this on my other car, never had any problems at all whatsoever. Let's see. Okay, I know some people fill the oil in the oil filter. That's fine if you want to do that, go for it. We're still going to put 4.5 quarts in. 4.5 quarts will get us right in between the 2 dots, and then after we go for a nice slow drive around the block, we'll check it again and top it off. But I like to do this, shake it up without the foil on, And then I take my finger and we just lube this guy up so it makes a nice connection. You could put the oil in there. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm trying to tape and everything. I'm gonna spill it all over, so this time I'm not gonna do it. No big deal. We'll just have to add a little bit more. Not a big deal at all. So let's go under the car, see where this is at. Sorry for all the weird angles. I was trying to do this without doing any cuts, but it's really difficult. So before we even put it back on, if we don't wipe it off the header, you'll get a lot of smoke when you start it up. And I don't want you guys to panic, so wipe it off. If you have wrapped headers you get the oil on while you're driving, that could start a fire, so don't recommend it. Ceramic coat, I guess, if you had to, but I definitely would not wrap headers. Again, unless it's a full-blown race car. So now we got the mating surface cleaned up. Headers, we got all the oil off that I could see. Might be a little off back there, but can I get a rag in there? Maybe. Maybe if I go like this. Yeah, not really. So, clean enough for me. We'll do one wipe. And then magically, we do not put... You can see how close that is because it's not threaded on. It's almost touching. We're not going to use the oil wrench to put it on. So, it's made it up. Hopefully you guys are getting a clear picture. I'll try to move you closer. So the filter, the gasket's touching. So I look at, sometimes they're numbered like a clock on the bottom. I like to do another half turn or 3/4 turn. So I'm going by this logo on the bottom. That is, and it's just hand tight. So that was a half turn. That's like 3/4, but it's still going pretty easy. So I'll go a little more. Keep in mind my hands are a little slippery. And there you go. That ain't going anywhere. I did like another half or a 1/4 turn there. But you just do it till it's tight. Don't put it on with the oil wrench. You do not need to put it on with the oil wrench. You take it off with the oil wrench. Trust me, it ain't going anywhere. And we got this guy nice and tight too. Just double check real quick. I believe I did it on video. Yeah, that's tight. There you go. Okay, so now you got a couple of options here. I like to jack the car down, fill it up with oil, start it without the under try on. That way I can see if there's any drips. That's probably what I'm going to do. So I'll get you guys set up. I'll put you on a time lapse. I'm just going to fill it with 4.5 quarts, and I'll see you in a minute.
Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need.
Okay, so that was 4.5 quarts. Now what I like to do, that front mount intercooler pipe's in the way. Torque Solutions I think makes an extension bracket for the oil fill, but yeah, it's an inconvenience, but I'm not spending money just for that. So I like to just make sure I didn't spill any. You'd see it come down the side because then you'll freak out later. I usually don't, but I just want to show you guys like common things, like see how the funnel doesn't really made up to it, and then you know if you fill the funnel up it'll start overflowing out of that and spray all over. Also, I didn't start the car yet obviously, but I like to go under the car, make sure, like I said, nothing's dripping down the side of the block because I spilled or anything like that. Nothing's coming out of the oil drain plug by the crush washer or nothing like that, and the oil filter looks completely dry as well. But again, we're gonna let it sit for like 2 minutes, just start it in the driveway. Make sure there's still no drips once it's up to temp. It might be more like 5 minutes, and then we'll go for a quick ride around the block. Come back, check for drips one more time, and then put the under tray on. So, show you guys that. It is a lot, it does look like a lot of shit, but honestly, by the time you drove somewhere and had your oil changed and drove back and waited, you'll be done. You'll be able to do it 2 or 3 times. So yeah, we're gonna jack the car down. That's another reason I leave the jack over there. It's just, you know, it's already set up. Come right down, no problem. Okay. It's definitely difficult to do this on one hand. So don't want to get any drips. Put that off to the side. Put our cap back on. We could check the dipstick. I usually start the car and then check it, which probably isn't the right way to do it, but that's how I do it. Plus, we just jacked the car down, so I mean all the oil's running and settling. So if we look, the 4.5 quarts, I'm seeing it right there. The other side reads a little lower because of the angle, so you can see it's almost at the top. Let me get the light just to make sure. I want to make sure you guys see this because this is the most important part. So hopefully you can see that. It's like right at the top hole. I'm trying not to block my own light, but if I flip it to the other side, it'll be a little lower, and that's fine. It's because the angle it goes in. So I'm gonna start the car, let it run, take it around the block, and then we will check it one more time. And I like to see that top hole filled. Bottom hole's filled, top hole I like to see filled, but I don't like to go above the notch. So it's a real tight clearance, but we'll get there. Probably need to add a little bit, but let's start it and find out. Oil cap's back on. And I mean, this literally took me, when I don't have to record it, maybe even 15-20 minutes. I've done it so many times. I'm just distracted trying to make these videos for you guys. So yeah, let's start it up. Do I have the key on me? I think I do. Should be clean. I don't think I got too much oil on me. So while it's warming up, I just like to check for leaks right away, because you should know right away. You have a puddle of oil underneath the car. I don't see any drips. It's not to temp. Let it get to temp. Go around the block, come back, park it, wait a minute or two, check for more drips. Usually no drips. And then if everything looks good, we'll check the oil level one more time, make sure it's topped off. Probably gotta add a little bit. And put the tray back on, which is just the reverse order. You slide it up, 2 clips, 3 bolts, and then 3 of the plastic screws on each side. They just push right in. So So now that we're back, we're going to check the leaks. That is not a leak, that's just from where the quart off the top of the pan. I took the filter out. So let's see, and I'll probably have to jack the car up. I got to do it to put the pan on anyway. So I don't see any leaks from the filter, and I certainly don't see any leaks there. And that's going to be real hot. So don't touch it. You could get a rag and just wipe it a little bit, and then you'll know for sure. Just be aware the new oil is clear, basically, or it's not really clear. It's like a yellowy, translucent clear, but you know, do the wipe test anyway. We got the one side up, put the try on. Should be good to go. I definitely would not run this without a tray. Just so you guys know. So, not seeing any oil at all whatsoever. Nice and dry. Silky smooth. I did spill some here though from when I picked up the filter, so we'll just wipe that guy down. That's it. We'll jack it up, put you on time lapse, get the under tray on reverse order, and that's it. We're good to go. We'll check the fluid one more time too. I'll show you that. Hey guys, so no leaks, under tray is back on. Car is level again. So we'll check. Got it up to temp. It's about 185, 190 on the coolant, but the oil, I think the oil temp is a little different. I don't have an oil temp gauge, but oil takes a little longer to heat up than the coolant. And you could see that's actually the high side. It's like dead in the middle at 4.5 quarts. And this side actually is very, very close. So we're gonna add like 1/8 of a quart. If you don't have oil on the dipstick, it's probably a full quart low. Ask me how I know. So check it again. And it probably went down because I didn't fill up the filter, so you could see, you know, it went down like 1/4, I would say. So it's a good idea to fill up the filter, like I said, and take it easy around the block, let it warm up. But I'll get that topped off, and I just want to show you that I ain't full of shit. So, you know, so you always want to check it because it's really not even in the middle anymore. That side is, that side's a little lower. So I'll give it like 1/8 of a quart, check it. It'll probably take 1/4, and that's it. So that's gonna end this one out. Clean up time, my favorite part. And the oil, we're gonna rinse that off, top it off, and then we'll go to AutoZone and dump it in the back. And that's it. Hope it helped you guys out. Like 25 minutes if you don't videotape. This is probably taking me about 50 minutes because I had to videotape, but whatever. See you guys in the next one.